Hello, dear students. Today we will discuss pharmacokinetics. Why to learn pharmacokinetics? Application of pharmacokinetic concepts and principles in humans to design individualized dosage regimes, which is important for optimization of the therapeutic response of a medication and to minimize the chance of an adverse drug reaction. What is pharmacokinetics? Simply means pharmacokinetics is the science which deals with what the body does to the drug. You learn the word pharmacon, that means drugs. Kinetics means movement. That means pharmacokinetics refers to movement of the drug in and alteration of the drug by the body. It includes absorption, distribution, metabolism, and excretion of the drug. In today's lecture, we will discuss 2 points of pharmacokinetics, that means absorption and distribution. When we administered drug, it gets transported and crosses the biological membrane. Then absorption starts. Drugs enters systemic circulation and it get distributed throughout the body and reaches to the various body tissues. Absorption. Let us see the journey of a drug through a body. Stage 1, drug administration. In the previous class, you have learned about the various routes of administration of a drug like oral, parenteral, etc. Next stage is absorption and distribution of a drug. As I told you earlier, drug get transported through various membranes like oral cavity, GI tract, etc. Then drug enters into systemic circulation where it get bind with plasma protein as well as directly reaches to the target site as well as get deposited into various organs like bone and fat. So this is the process of binding, storage or localization. Later on, drug metabolized into the liver and various metabolites of the drugs get excreted through intestines, kidney, lungs, sweat glands, etc. In today's lecture, we will discuss absorption and distribution part of pharmacokinetics, and in the next class, we will discuss remaining portion, that is metabolism and excretion of the drug. When we discuss absorption of a drug, one word appears, that is bioavailability. If you simply split the word bioavailability, bio and availability, that means availability of the biological active drug at the site of action. So the precise definition of bioavailability is the rate at which and the extent to which the active concentration of drug is available at the desired site of action. That is the definition of bioavailability. When the drug is given through intravenous route, the bioavailability is 100%. So what is the clinical significance of bioavailability? That we will see later on. Let us try to understand this graph that is known as AUC or area under curve. So what is that? Single dose bioavailability test involves an analysis of plasma concentration of the drug at various time intervals after its oral administration and plotting a plasma concentration time curve. The area under such a curve provides information about the extent, that means amount of the drug absorbed, and the rate of absorption as well as the time required, that is Tmax, to achieve the maximum concentration, that is Cmax. Quantitative evaluation of bioavailability. Drug bioavailability is determined by comparing the AUC after oral administration of a drug with the AUC after intravenous administration of the same dose of the drug. So that is the equation. Bioavailability is equal to area under curve of oral divided by area under curve intravenous multiplied by 100, where AUC oral is AUC obtained after oral administration of single dose, and AUC IV, that is AUC obtained after IV administration of same drug in the same dose. Let us see the various factors that affects the drug absorption and bioavailability. Patient factors. Which includes route of administration of a drug, membrane physiology, blood flow through GI tract, GI contents, gastrointestinal pH, age of the patient, metabolism by various enzymes, intestinal transit time, disease states of the patient, and gastric emptying time. Physicochemical factors like drug solubility, drug stability, pK of the drug, lipophilicity, particle size, and dissolution rate of the drug. Pharmaceutical factors like disintegration time, storage condition, product age, nature and type of dosage form, pharmaceutical ingredients, dissolution time, manufacturing variables. Patient factors. Number one, route of administration. You can see here various route of drug administration. As we have seen earlier, bioavailability of drug injected through intravenous route is 100%, but it is lower after oral administration of a drug because number one, the drug may be incompletely absorbed, as well as the absorbed drug may undergo first pass metabolism into the intestine wall or liver, or may be excreted in bile. So route of administration affects bioavailability of a drug. Membrane physiology. You have learned this part in first BDS. You can see here nature of cell membrane, which is made up of phospholipid bilayer and various constituents of a cell membrane like integral protein, oligosaccharide, glycoprotein, glycolipid, as well as various peripheral proteins. Drug transport process. We are not going to discuss in details about this process. Drugs are transported across the membrane by main two mechanisms. Number one, passive diffusion and filtration, and second, specialized transport. Specialized transport includes carrier mediated, and carrier mediated includes two, facilitated diffusion and active transport, while active transport involves primary and secondary transporters, and another mechanism is pinocytosis. Age also play important part in the differences of bioavailability. In infants, there is high gastric pH as well as less intestinal surface and blood flow, while in elderly, there is low amount of acid as well as less intestinal blood flow and altered gastric emptying. Another factor is gastric emptying time, and gastric emptying time affected by various factors like volume of ingested material, type of meal, body position, various drugs, emotional state as well as disease states of the patient. Intestinal transit time. Delayed time is desirable for number one, drugs that dissolve or release slowly from their dosage form, like sustained release products, and number two, drugs that dissolve only in intestine, like enteric coated formulations. Presence of food. Food increases absorption of drugs like chloroquine, carbamazepine, and griseofulvin, while food decreases absorption of drugs like ampicillin, aspirin, captopril, levodopa, rifampicin, and tetracycline like drugs. So, drugs mentioned on the left side to be taken after meals, while drugs mentioned on right side to be taken before meals. Various metabolizing enzymes. These enzymes affects bioavailability of a drug. These enzymes present in liver as well as gut wall. In the next class, we will see how first pass hepatic metabolism affects bioavailability of a drug. There are various methods to delay absorption of a drug. Number one, using appropriate dosage form. Example, slow and sustained absorption of drugs achieved by Rita tablets, depot injection as well as subcutaneous implants. Second, changing physical characteristics of a drug like procaine penicillin G. Third, adding a vasoconstrictor drug. A very good example is adrenaline and lignocaine. Because of adding vasoconstrictor adrenaline, it leads to prolonged effect of lignocaine as well as reduces absorption of local anesthetic into systemic circulation and therefore prevents its systemic toxicity. Fourth one, applying a tourniquet. Tourniquet application, injection of local anesthetic lead to delayed systemic absorption and therefore prolongation of local anesthetic action. How we can facilitate absorption of a drug? It can be achieved by addition of enzyme hyaluronidase, which lead to increased local blood flow to the tissue and therefore increases absorption of a drug. Distribution. Drug may get distributed into various compartments. Body water, example ethanol. Various tissues, example iodine in thyroid, fluoride in bones, vitamin A and chlorophyll in liver, griseofulvin in keratin. While under body water, drug get distributed into extracellular as well as intracellular compartments. Extracellular, D-tubocurarine, gentamicin like drugs. Intracellular, potassium ions, sucrose. Intravascular, like mannitol, dextran, heparin, and interstitial, like digoxin, and special compartments for drug distribution. One of the very important such compartment is plasma protein binding of a drug. When free drug combines with protein, it forms complex known as drug protein complex. Difference between free drug and protein bound drug. Free drug pharmacologically active, while protein bound drug is inert or inactive. Free drug can diffuse through capillary wall, while protein bound drug not accessible to capillary diffusion, metabolism, or excretion. Specific proteins contributing to drug binding. Plasma albumin, that is most important contributor binds to acidic drugs, example warfarin, penicillin, while alpha 1 acid glycoproteins bind to basic drugs, example quinidine, imipramine. Tissue proteins and nucleoproteins, example is digoxin, while miscellaneous binding proteins, example is transcortin, which is a corticosteroid binding protein. Clinical significance of plasma protein binding. Highly plasma protein bound drugs are largely restricted to vascular compartment, having low volume of distribution, and they are difficult to remove by hemodialysis and require special technique for treatment in case of overdose poisoning. Hypoalbuminemia, example liver diseases, there is higher concentration of free drug. And in case of hyperalbuminemia, example myocardial infarction, inflammation, there is higher concentration of bound drug. Another importance of plasma protein binding drugs is displacement reaction. Drug having higher affinity displaces the drug having lower affinity. Example sulfonamides and vitamin K. So there is displacement of bilirubin and that lead to kernicterus in neonates. Physiological barriers to drug distribution. This includes blood-brain barrier, blood CSF barrier, CSF brain barrier, and placental barrier. Significance of physiological barriers prevent entry of drug into organ and possible toxicity of that particular drug. It contains P-glycoprotein which effluxes the drug from organ to back into the blood circulation. Example GIT brain, kidney. Let us see volume of distribution of a drug. Apparent volume of distribution. It simply defined as the total space which should apparently be available in the body to contain the known amount of the drug. How it can be calculated? Apparent volume distribution is equal to total amount of the drug in the body divided by plasma concentration of drug. Clinical significance of apparent volume of distribution. If drug doesn't cross capillary membrane given by intravenous route, its volume of distribution is equal to plasma water. That means approximately 3 liter. Example of drugs like heparin, insulin. High plasma protein bound drug and less tissue protein bound drug. Example tolbutamide having low volume of distribution. And opposite is true for drugs like metoprolol. If volume of distribution is much more than the actual body volume, such drugs get widely distributed in the body. Example in adipose tissues. Such drugs are difficult to remove by dialysis if toxicity occurs with overdose. Example digoxin, imipramine. Few examples of drugs having different values of volume of distribution. Volume of distribution less than 5 liter. Such drugs remains within vascular compartment. Example heparin, insulin, and warfarin. Volume of distribution approximately 15 liter. Such drugs remains to extracellular fluid. Example aspirin, tolbutamide. Volume distribution more than 20 liters. Such drugs distributed in total body water. Example ethanol, or penetration into the tissues. Example digoxin. What is redistribution of a drug? Let us take example of thiopentone sodium. Intravenous injection of thiopentone sodium enters the brain very rapidly. It is a very highly lipid soluble general anesthetic agent. Being highly lipid soluble, it diffuses back to circulation from brain, redistributed to muscle and fat, and its action is terminated. So, intravenous thiamapatone sodium is ultra short acting. So, this is redistribution of a drug. So, thank you, friends. Take care of yourself in this pandemic situation. Stay safe, stay healthy.